Once in Australia and Powers, Queensland's own. Tonight, the challengers throw down the gauntlet to the champions.
Bolomouta works the run around McCracken, bursts into a hole, Wilson support, that's a classic try.
The front-running Canterbury Bulldogs on a collision course with reigning premiers, the Brisbane Broncos.
Langer away for Platt. Platt serves it up. Brisbane, they go in again.
Can the battle-weary Broncos revive their title defence?
Kerrod Walters to Kevin Walters. And across now. Madison. Madison saves the target. Goes through.
Or will the super-disciplined Dogs dash the Premier's hopes?
Oh, there's got to be a try here. Scott Wilson's looking down the barrel of his first. Jason Smith support. Jason Williams, the Kiwi.
Brisbane has the talent.
Hands away. The big man. Oh, back Wendell.
But will it be enough to stem the blue and white tide?
Open spaces for McRae, doesn't get the bounce. Wilson
now,
does.
Defence becomes attack for the Doggies. Wilson goes to the 20. On now to Darren Smith. They've got to score surely. And Darren Smith goes all the way.
The Broncos versus the Bulldogs on Friday Night Football.
Two of the Premiership big guns do battle tonight here at the ANZ Stadium in Friday Night Football. Last year's minor premiers, Canterbury Bankstown, take on last year's premiers, the Brisbane Broncos. Many people saying that tonight is the night that the Broncos' semi-final aspirations will come to an end. A man very close to their camp, in fact their skills coach is Gary Belcher. Gary, what are your feelings of their chances tonight?
Well, I think they can win. They need a few players to lead the way, and the two players that should do that are Wendell Saylor and Mark Hone, both in great form over the past month. Wendell, of course, has been thrust back to fullback. I think he'll suit the positional change. Mark Hone, well, he's just going to go forward. He's done that very well for them in the past end for Queensland. I'm a bit worried about Canterbury, though. Plenty of form players. Matthew Ryan out wide. He's played well wherever Chris Anderson has asked him to play. And Martin Bella, who's got everything to prove. He wants that State of Origin jumper back, and he wants to do it up against Hone and G.
Yes, a couple of players tonight will do their State of Origin, hopes the world of good with big performances. A new face joining us tonight, albeit a well-known one, former Australian great Michael O'Connor. Mick, you played a lot of State of Origin games. Are you surprised that Brisbane requested this game 2 days after a state fixture?
Peter, I am. They've had a very hectic schedule over the last fortnight. They've had the Wigan clash, they've had State of Origin appearances, and it is a big ask, both mentally and physically, on these Brisbane players. Their backs are to the wall, and I think it's going to take a superhuman performance to start tonight if they're going to win.
A few positional changes. O'Neill in the centres?
Yeah, I mean, his hands are tied, really. He's really only got one specialist centre now that Steve Renoff's out of the game, and, I mean, what do? He's tried him at fullback, he's tried him at lock. Wendell Saylor at fullback. There's a question mark under him, over the high ball. But really, he's had a policy all year of picking his best 13 players, and that's what he's stuck to tonight.
Well, most importantly tonight, Canterbury, an opportunity to go 5 points clear, at least overnight, on the Premiership ladder. And they would love nothing better than to beat Brisbane, the side that knocked them out of last year's competition in the Premiership final. To see if they can do that, let's now go to Ray Warren as the two sides take the field.
Thank you, Peter, as the fireworks explode and the Brisbane Broncos come out to a crowd that hopes that they will explode tonight and come back from being underdogs as they run on now to win over Canterbury, the competition leaders. They're in the middle of a torture trail, and many of these players, 8 of them, in fact, who played on Wednesday night, backing up 2 days later. Led by Alan Langer, that's their team. Saylor, Hancock, O'Neill, Johns, Khan, Walters, Langer, Hone. Kerrod Walters is the hooker. G, Galia, Ryan, and Sid Domick. He is in his debut match for the Brisbane Broncos in first grade. Khan back on the wing, with Wayne Bennett opting to use Wendell Saylor at fullback and bringing Julian O'Neill back into the centres. There's Wendell Saylor, who will wear the 5 jumper and play at the back of the Brisbane Broncos. Canterbury Bankstown, the competition front runners. They've won 9 in a row, and they're going for 10 tonight. 2 of their players, Darren Smith on the bench. He played on Wednesday night. He's on the bench to start this game. And Dean Pay, of course, a magnificent debut to Origin football. There's their team. Wilson, Williams, Ryan, McCracken, Halligan, Dimmick, Moore, Britt, Hetherington, Bella, Gillies, Dean Pay and Jason Smith.